I've had all these things wrong with me since I've been 3 months old. I've never not had something, air quote, wrong with me. I grew up in such a small community where being sick was looked at as weird. You know, you're the sick girl to everyone. You're always absent because you're having to go to the hospital. I know I'm different from everybody else. I know that.
Dr. Acutt told me, you got a kidney for Mackenzie. How fast can you get here?
Mackenzie Scanlon has lived her whole life in and out of hospitals, traveling to different provinces for the care she needs. She shares this story from her hospital bed.
A brand new pump that I don't know how to use. Oh, I was 3 months old when I started depending on a feeding tube. So it goes into my small intestine and I get formula through a pump during the night for 12 hours, and it gives me all the nutrients I need, and I don't have to eat actual food.
For many people, having your first child can be one of the greatest days of your life. From the first cry to counting fingers and toes, some say it feels like your life is beginning all over again. That's what Mackenzie's parents Iris and Brian thought, until they realized quickly that it wasn't.
Well, it was kind of hard at first, but after a while you just got used to it.
After we got tired of people staring at us because Mackenzie wasn't eating, so we got to the stage where we didn't go to a takeout. We wanted something, we take it and we bring it home. And then later on we just said, no, she ate at home, or she's diabetic and she's already eaten. We was telling the truth, but because people were staring at you, no doubt about it, right?
I've never cared that I have a feeding tube. I've never cared that I can't eat stuff.
Ever since she can remember, Mackenzie has depended on a different way to eat. She was diagnosed at a young age with slightly vomiting syndrome, which causes Mackenzie to always feel nauseous. Her mother and father knew they were going to face more challenges than just understanding how Mackenzie's feeding pump would work.
She was born on the 8th of October. I guess being a new mom, I didn't really, but people said after that they found her sickly looking before New Year's or on a New Year's weekend. She got sick. I took her up, and the doctor told me I was a worried mom and sent us home. So then on Wednesday, I took her again. They gave her medicine, and we went home again. She cried all day, but I'm just thinking, well, she's not feeling well, so that's all it is. The next morning, I think 8 o'clock, we were at the hospital. They told me that she was in kidney failure. That she needed to come to Nova Scotia to see the kidney specialist. They flew her out. We had to fly out the next morning. They told, we got here, we saw Dr. Acutt, Dr. Crocker. They told us that her kidneys were failing. She needed dialysis. They were going to put in a catheter for her to get her dialysis.
For many years, Mackenzie had to go through treatments. She was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease, a condition that usually runs in families, but strangely, no one else in hers has it. This disease causes multiple fluid-filled cysts to grow in the kidneys, which can lead to pain, high blood pressure, and eventually kidney failure. Because of this, Mackenzie needed a kidney transplant.
So what I can remember, it was March 27th, and I was 6 years old. The phone rings. My dad answers the phone and he's talking, and all of a sudden he just runs to the front door and yells to my mom that the Dr. Acott is on the phone. He has a kidney for Mackenzie. And at this age, you would think that I didn't really understand what that meant, but I did. It meant I was going to feel better. I was just watching TV, and then all of a sudden, I'm helping my mom pack to fly to Nova Scotia to the IWK to get a kidney transplant.
With a successful transplant and years of being in and out of hospitals, Mackenzie could try and live her life as everyone else did. She grew up in Castor River North, which is a small town in Newfoundland and Labrador that has a population of less than 130 people. Mackenzie says living in such a small town, she was looked at because of not being able to eat. She was labeled as the sick kid. She couldn't play sports because of doctor's orders, and even if she wanted to, her body wouldn't allow it.
In school, everybody played sports. The whole thing for our school was you had to be good at sports, you had to be good at academics, or you weren't looked at. I wasn't this great athlete. I wasn't anything. There was a point when I did feel like giving up. I got really sick. My health really declined. I wasn't taking care of myself as well as I should have been because I was so focused on trying to do well. And I kind of felt left out, that I didn't have a thing.
One day, while in the hospital, Mackenzie found a YouTube video that changed her life and gave her purpose.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me. Today we're gonna be baking. Apple pie? No.
I was always watching the new videos that all my favorite baking YouTubers were posting, and I was always still writing different recipe ideas down. I was always saving stuff. I went home, and everything that I had saved, there was like 15 recipes that I had saved. And I'm like, I do not care what anybody says. I am going to bake all these recipes. I'm going to try them all.
Excited to try these recipes, Mackenzie knew, even though she couldn't taste them herself, nothing would stop her from giving baking a try.
So when I found baking, I found my spark. I found my thing. It was different. Nobody else did it. People found that weird because, Mackenzie, you don't eat. You don't know what stuff tastes like. Why would you want to bake? That's kind of weird. But when they actually tasted my stuff, then the class went the other way. And they were like, oh my God, can you bring that in tomorrow? Those were delicious.
Having the motivation from her notebook and being able to commit to her new hobby, Mackenzie knew baking would be a challenge. But she was determined to learn the ins and the outs of the science behind it. With lots of discipline, hard work, and taste testers by her side, Mackenzie finally had plans for the next chapter of her life.
Somebody had asked me to do cookies. And I had made them these cookies, and they had given me a tip. They paid me, and they gave me an extra little tip. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm actually kind of good at this. I think it was about February 20th of 2020 when I just decided to post pictures, and I said, attention all residents of the surrounding areas, I will now be selling my baked goods and sweet treats. I can remember under the first post I made about that, I had like 7 or 8 people already being like, oh, I want your cinnamon rolls. I want your famous Oreo stuffed chocolate chip cookies. I want a pie. I want some red velvet cupcakes. I want this. I want that. That year for Mother's Day, I did 6 cakes in 2 days.
So how does someone who has never tasted food or tried their own creations open up a baking business? Well,
baking found me when I don't eat a single thing. The first thought when I did start learning was, what am I gonna do? I don't know what any of this stuff tastes like. How am I gonna how am I going to know what to do? How am I going to know how to improve? But then I kind of sat down and I thought about it, and I'm like, well, if I have people that are going to taste test and I know they're going to be completely honest about if it tastes good or not, that's all I need.
Mackenzie wasn't going to let the obstacle of not being able to taste what she bakes stand in her way. The odds may have been against her since day one, but she wasn't going to let that stop her. She had an idea.
When I baked all my things before I had approved it for my business page, everybody in my family tried it. I did not care that I didn't eat it. And I don't do it the traditional way, but I don't do things in a traditional way, and that's okay. I've always loved the experience. Because I don't eat it, I've always found that my other senses are heightened. If I'm feeling sad or upset about something, I go to the kitchen, I make something. Those stresses don't cross my mind.
From living her life as the girl who was always sick to now celebrating 18 years of a successful kidney transplant, Mackenzie is the proud owner of her own baking business. She's determined to show her resilience not only in the world, but in the kitchen as well.
I will put my blood, sweat, and tears into what you want, making it the best it can be. If you can dream it, I can bake it.